parents. When did your child's partner win you over? To be honest, I was never thrilled about the idea of my daughter dating. When she left for college, I figured I had at least a few years before I'd have to meet a boyfriend and pretend to like him. I was wrong. 3 months in, she brought home Ethan. Ethan was exactly the kind of guy I never imagined for my daughter. Tall and skinny, hair always messy like it had never met a comb, and the word dude somehow fit into every sentence. He was polite, but his laid-back, go-with-the-flow attitude bothered me. My daughter had always been responsible, focused, driven, with clear plans for her future. Ethan, on the other hand, seemed like someone who just drifted through life without worrying too much about anything. I didn't dislike him, I just tolerated him. For months, I kept my interactions with him short, nods, one-word answers, and long stretches of pretending to scroll through my phone. If he asked me something, I'd respond, and immediately shut the conversation down. But none of it seemed to faze him. He was always friendly, always smiling, acting like we were already on good terms. Then came a family dinner. My wife cooked a proper meal, Ethan came over, and everything was normal enough. When it was time for dessert, my wife and daughter realized they'd forgotten something and decided to run to the store. That left Ethan and me alone in the house for the first time. The silence was uncomfortable. I stayed glued to my phone. Ethan stared at the table, clearly unsure of what to say. After a while, he cleared his throat and asked, almost nervously, "Do you like whiskey?" I looked up and gave a small nod. His face lit up. "My dad gave me a bottle for my birthday. It's supposed to be really good. Would you like to try it?" I don't know why, but I stood up and said yes. At first, it was just as awkward as before. We sat there sipping our drinks in silence. Then he started telling me about the time he tried to impress my daughter by taking her rock climbing, only to get stuck halfway up the wall and need an instructor to rescue him while she stood below laughing. I laughed, a real laugh. I shared my own story, how I once entered a chili eating contest to impress my wife when we were dating, and ended up throwing up on a state senator's shoes. One drink turned into two turned into more than I could keep track of. We talked about music, movies, embarrassing college moments. I realized Ethan wasn't aimless at all. He had plans. He was working towards starting his own business. He wasn't careless. He just didn't stress over things he couldn't control. At some point, we got loud. We were laughing across the kitchen table, talking over each other. By the time my wife and daughter came back, we were both drunk, trying to sing along to an old rock song neither of us actually knew. My wife looked unimpressed. My daughter stood in the doorway, staring at us like we'd completely lost our minds. Ethan smiled at my wife and said, "Mum, I really love your cooking." That was it. I completely lost it. That night changed everything. I stopped merely tolerating Ethan and started genuinely liking him. Today, he feels like a second son to me. I still don't know exactly how it happened, but over a few drinks and an honest conversation, he won me over. And honestly, I'm glad he did.